I have been talking for a while. I really didn't expect this to go on as long. Sorry about the break. I had to get something to drink. But I have one other funny story that, particularly for Dylan's blackmail purposes, I want to tell. I realize that by exposing it to a group of his friends, it probably loses a little of its threatening nature, but it's just too funny. When Kenny was in second grade, he was attending St. Monica's Catholic High School here on the northwest side of Indianapolis. And his class had done so well at a school-wide book reading competition, I believe it was, that they won an overnight slumber party in the school cafeteria that sort of passed for the indoor gym as well. And so he got to go off and spend the night with a bunch of kids, and of course there were chaperones and parents in attendance. The next morning I was notified that Kenny was disinvited from any future occasions like this, because it seems like, unbeknownst to me, Kenny had packed some reading material to share with his friends. Not necessarily what you'd consider age-appropriate reading material. Because also, and I'm going to sound like a totally clueless parent, but in his interactions with some neighborhood boys in the apartment complex we lived in, or at least let me put it this way, this is the story I'm told. What the facts are, I'm fully aware, might be somewhat different from the explanation I was given. But apparently these older boys had broken into the garage of a resident of the complex who had a private garage and found boxes of collected material, apparently most of it pornographic, and had made off with an Adam and Eve catalog. And I will allow you to have it explained to you what that is by those who are present that do know, like Kenny. And apparently, shortly, they sell pornography and sex aids. So Kenny was sharing the catalog from this company with his second grade friends. So, yeah. Kenny was and is fiercely independent. He is a walking tip calculator. He is very, very bright when it comes to math, and I used to enjoy having him around because whenever we went to eat, if it required figuring a tip, I could give him the oddest percentage, like 17 and a half of a $24.86 bill, and he could come up with the correct tip amount. Or at least I assume it was the correct tip amount, because how would I know that he was wrong? But, as I said, he was mischievous, always mischievous, incredibly intelligent, unbelievably stubborn, good-hearted, funny, full of passion, very deep, and a force of nature in the manner of a quote by George Bernard Shaw, which I invite him to go look up, but I always have called him my force of nature. He has been equal parts a joy and a challenge, and part of the joy of him has been the challenge. Kenny, I love you very much, and I am very glad and proud and honored to have been your mom. It's been a fun ride. I'm proud of you for following your dreams and sticking to your guns and definitely steering your own course. And I know it hasn't always been easy or pleasant. We both seem to share that. But I hope that you feel that it's been worth it and that it will continue to be worth it. And I would just like to say that I hope that you get every joy and happiness and wish and dream fulfilled. So, thank you, darling, and I hope I haven't gone on too long, but I haven't even begun to scrape the tip of the iceberg in stories about you, and we won't talk about the Mexican sex education and driver's education classes being canceled, which is still one of the biggest laughs I've ever had in my life once I got over the shock. So I hope you all have a good time. I hope this hasn't been too much of a buzzkill, but I wanted to take part in it, and this was the best way we could come up with. So, happy birthday, Kenny. I love you very much. Thank you, Dylan, for making all this possible. Good night.